She hurled the ring at me like it was scorching her skin. It hit the floor beside my feet, spinning once before settling. Cold. Done. Then her voice cut through the air. Razor sharp, practiced, designed to hurt. We're finished. And in that instant, my office, the one I'd built from nothing, became a theater. Her affair partner stood behind her, cocky, hands stuffed in his pockets like he'd already taken my place. My colleagues went still, then the whispers started. A few laughed. Someone muttered, "What a pathetic husband." I stayed silent. I just stared at her. The same woman who'd sobbed against my shoulder when her startup nearly collapsed. The same woman I'd financed, shielded, and cherished through every crisis. She believed she held the power in that moment. She had no clue she'd already surrendered it. I opened my desk drawer, pulled out an envelope, and placed it in her hands. No speech, no fury, just stone-cold finality. Then I walked right past her, past the snickering, past the shame she thought she'd buried me under. That envelope was my silent farewell and her quiet undoing. We crossed paths 6 years ago at a tech conference. She was driven, unpolished, gifted, the type of woman who could pitch ice to Eskimos. I fell for her energy, her fire. She told me I steadied her. I bought every word. When she pitched an idea for a women-focused investment platform, I funded it. $90 million of my own money. I trusted her vision more than the spreadsheets, more than logic. I even integrated part of my company's infrastructure into hers. We became partners in business and in marriage. But love has a talent for masking fractures beneath the surface. And betrayal doesn't announce itself. It creeps in slowly, like morning mist. It began subtly. Late-night meetings that stretched longer. Business trips that gained an extra day. The smell of unfamiliar cologne lingering on her blazer. I questioned her once. She grinned. Called me paranoid, stressed. I dropped it for a time. Then the photo arrived, a forwarded text from a mutual contact. Her and him at a resort I'd paid for. Her palm on his chest, his mouth on her neck. I studied that image for what felt like hours, not from heartache, but from strategy. Betrayal stings most when it comes from the person you've anchored your existence to. But I don't explode. I don't demolish with noise. I dismantle in silence. The following morning, I called my legal team privately. I had every corporate connection, every transaction, every joint asset examined. Her company, our company, operated on funding that flowed through my firm. Without my backing, it was a house built on rented ground. I started the deconstruction. Cancelled her credit cards, removed her access to the business accounts, terminated the travel privileges, closed the joint credit facility, redirected every scheduled wire transfer to my personal trust. Every move was surgical. Every severance was soundless. Then came the envelope. Inside it, divorce documents, cancellation of all equity shares, and a formal letter to her board announcing the financial pullout. It would reach them before noon. When she barged into my office that morning with her lover in tow, I already knew the clock was ticking. Her company's worth was about to nosedive. She assumed she was destroying me. She didn't realize she was teetering on the brink of her own ruin. As I exited the building, my phone buzzed. One text from my attorney. Complete. Transfers finalized. By the time I got to my car, her company's system had shut her out. By the time I merged onto the freeway, her business funds were inaccessible. By the time I pulled into my driveway, I had reclaimed all 90 million. At 3:17 p.m., my phone started going off. First one ring, then another, then another. By 4 p.m., I had 124 unanswered calls. Her number, her CFO, her closest friend, even the affair partner. At 4:10, someone knocked on my front door. I knew it was her before I checked the peephole. She stood there, barefaced, eyes desperate, voice trembling. You can't do this. I met her gaze, calm, unwavering. I already have. She tried shoving the envelope back at me like it carried a curse. They're saying the company's locked, that the investors, they're saying. The truth, I cut in. She went pale. The arrogance had vanished. The ring she'd thrown at me was gone. Only panic remained. The kind that hits when you grasp that the person you dismissed had known everything all along. I didn't invite her inside. I didn't raise my voice. I didn't rub it in. I simply shut the door, slowly, quietly. Behind that door, I experienced something I hadn't expected. Not triumph, not revenge. Peace. She craved drama. I delivered silence. She wanted to witness me shatter. I watched her fall apart. And as I settled into my chair, my phone glowed one last time. A final message from her, please, can we talk? I didn't respond. Because some things don't need closure. They need consequences.